Hello students, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. I am Suman Gupta from Department of Law, Kurukshetra University, Kurukshetra. Today I am going to talk about the module entitled Basic Concept of Sex and Gender. Gender attributes and gender roles. Equality and discrimination, gender relations and gender identity. From paper Women's Studies as an academic discipline. Objective of in this module is to familiarize the concept of sex and gender, gender roles, gender relations, and equality and discrimination. We all know that men and women are different, but the fact remains that there lies certain uneasiness as to how different are they? What is the extent of difference? What is the significance does it have for the way male and female behave and are treated in society? Sometimes it is hard to understand exactly what is meant by the term gender and how it differs from the closely related term sex. Understanding of the social construct of gender starts with ever expanding the two concepts, that is, gender and sex. Often these two terms are used interchangeably. However, they bear different meanings as concepts. Let us discuss about the gender and the sex. There is a difference between the two. Gender means psychological term, sex is biological term. Gender, our awareness and reaction to biological sex, and sex is functional difference between males and females and their reproductive potential. In gender, it is determined by biological, psychological and sociological factors. Sex is determined by genes. In gender, masculine and feminine are psychological terms which refer to a person's gender. In sex, male and female are biological terms. Gender as social cultural phenomena. Gender is considered more as a social cultural aspect of human life. Division of role on the basis of sex and body has given rise to different social roles and status for men and women. Equality and education was never established for women as she was traditionally associated with kitchen and kids. Taking care of family was her sole occupation. But as it is said that women is the mother of civilization, it is seen that women plays a major role as far as socialization is concerned. Ideals, love, sacrifices, tenderness and motherhood have been aspects of women. Hence, both sex and gender are similar but contradictory terms, only having separate features with respect to biological, physical and socio-cultural orientation. Sex and gender difference. How do you know when to call something a sex difference rather than a gender difference? Using the definitions given for sex, that is biological difference between males and females, and gender, that is socially defined differences between men and women. Sex differences, therefore, refer only to those differences that can be attributed solely to the biological difference. Medical literature most commonly addresses biological sex differences. The generic rule of thumb must therefore be, if you know that the difference is 100% biological, it is a sex difference, everything else must be considered a gender difference. Gender and its composition. Gender role, adoption of masculine and feminine behavioral traits that are deemed appropriate are characteristic of a particular sex. Gender identity, person's private subjective sense of their own sex. Gender roles. Behavior are tasks done with some expectations or self-consciousness about being female or male. Engagement in similar and different roles depending on worldview, establish lines of authority, develop skills or motivation. Traditional and current stereotypes tend to assign women's role to private spheres and men's to more public ones. Roles which are classified by sex, where this classification is social and not biological. Gender roles are defined by the socio-cultural norms of any society. In most of the societies, the family systems are based on the gender roles, and it is the pre-designed gender roles that help the members of the family to run the family with bound responsibilities. Any disturbance in the gender role aspect may affect the smooth functioning of easygoing of any family. The origin of gender roles can be dated back to the very establishment of the social life. Ever since man started living in the societies, they differentiated between the male gender and female gender and implicated specific lifestyle, duties, and functional areas for each of these genders. It was quite needed in the then lifestyle of the human beings. Hunting was the only way of finding a living. Masculinity helped male gender to dominate the society and made them authoritative in families. Traditional and current stereotypes tend to assign women's roles to private spheres and men's to more public ones. Female roles, cooking, washing clothes, ensuring basic needs at the household level, caring for children, etc., are classified as traditional tendency to view men's participation in housework and child rearing as unmanly. In Indian Defence Forces, women are preferably appointed towards desk jobs. Male applicants are entrusted more challenging and productive faculties. The work done by men created the production of goods and services. The work of men was productive and valued as labor. The concept of sexual division of labor conceals the fact that the relationship between men and women is a relationship of dominance. Feminist writings centered around the issue of dominance of men over women through the sexual division of labor. The concept of public and private portrays the social relations in these two realms. The public realm is characterized by activities individuals undertake in society, such as productive work in the economy and in the polity. The private realm refers to work in the household and family. Historically, men acted in the public realm and have moved freely between the public and the private realm, while women and children have been restricted to the private realm and subjected to the authority of men within it. Men's advantageous position is paid work must be understood in relation to women's disadvantaged position in the private realm of the house. Why women are segregated on the basis of sex, discrepancy in pay, stereotype role assigned being biologically weak, this leads to discrimination. Gender discrimination and equality. Gender discrimination means and includes, and it refers to the practice of granting or denying rights or privileges to a person based on their gender. In some societies, this practice is long-standing and acceptable to both genders. Certain religious groups embrace gender discrimination as part of their dogma. However, in most industrialized nations, it is either illegal or generally considered inappropriate. Attitudes toward gender discrimination can normally be traced back to the roots of certain segments of the society. Countless literary fiction references are made to females being the fairer, weaker sex, and males being the strong, invincible hunters of the world. The combined power of these societal and religious beliefs left little room for equitable thinking for centuries. In relation to work, women have longer working days than men at work and then at home. In valuation of work, it is most of the times undervalued. In public spheres, men hold high status positions and women tend to fill the roles of sport persons. In sharing of world resources, women earn 1/10 of the world's income for doing 2/3 of the world's work. What does gender equality mean? Gender equality is the aim of gender and development. It does not simply or necessarily mean equal numbers of women and men, girls and boys in development activities, nor does it necessarily mean treating women and men, girls and boys exactly the same. The aim is not that women and men become the same, but that their opportunities and life chances become and remain equal. It signifies an aspiration to work towards a society in which women and men, girls and boys are able to live equally fulfilling lives and to equally contribute to designing the society they want. Gender equality means that women and men enjoy the same status within a society. World bodies have defined gender equality in terms of human rights, especially women's rights and economic development. UNICEF describes that gender equality means that women and men and girls and boys enjoy the same rights, resources, opportunities, and protections. It does not require that girls and boys or women and men be the same, but they be treated exactly alike. The United Nations Population Fund has declared that men and women have a right to equality. Gender equity is one of the goals of the United Nations Millennium Project to end world poverty by 2015. The project claims every single goal is directly related to women's rights, and societies where women are not afforded equal rights as men can never achieve development in a sustainable manner. Issues of equality in family. The modern social structure sees both men and women as equal partners of the society with equal rights, status, and responsibility. This is a sudden change of concepts of a male dominated society. In the families, people who have observed authoritarian father and submissive mothers may expect the same when they set up their own families. The equal status may disturb the husbands as the lead underneath superiority elements may require certain amount of time to dissolve themselves and accept the new socio-cultural setup. Glass ceiling in India, a reality for women. A glass ceiling refers to that invisible barrier beyond which minorities, in particular women in middle level management, never rise. Silent yet unbreakable. This barrier is one of the root causes why the percentage of women occupying top level management is much lesser than the men. These are a handful of women who have breached this barrier, like Indra Nooyi, Semen Tota, and Kiran Majmudar Shah. Men and women are likely to be equally emotional and family oriented, although they may expose different approaches to parenting and other issues related to their personal lives. However, women are perceived as being more emotional because their management and leadership styles are different. Women bring a holistic approach and more nurturing and are willing to share power and information. These traits stand to benefit women because the world has transitioned from an industrial age into an information age during this century. Constitutional and legal provisions for women in India. First, we shall take up National Legal Research Desk. The principle of gender equality is enshrined in the Indian Constitution in its preamble, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principles. Number two, the Constitution not only grants equality to women, but also empowers the state to adopt measures of positive discrimination in favor of women. 3. Within the framework of democratic polity, our laws, development policies, plans, and programs have aimed at women's advancement in different spheres. Number 4. India has also ratified various international conventions and human rights instruments committing to secure equal rights of women. Next, key among them is the ratification of the Convention of Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, known as CEDAW, in 1993. Constitutional provisions, fundamental rights, among others, ensure equality before the law and equal protection of law, prohibits discrimination against any citizen on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth, and guarantee equality of opportunity to all citizens in matters relating to employment. Articles 14, 15, 15 Class 3, 16, 39 Class A, 39 Class B, 39 Class C, and 42 of the Constitution are of specific importance in this regard. Stop. Constitutional privileges. Number 1, equality before law for women, contained Article 40. 2. The state not to discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. Article 15, Class 1. 3. The state to make any special provisions in favor of women and children. Article 15, Class 3. 4. Equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. Article 16. 5. The state to direct its policy towards securing for men and women equally the right to an adequate means of livelihood. Article 39A. And equal pay for equal work for both men and women. Article 39D. 6. To promote justice on a basis of equal opportunity and to provide free legal aid by suitable legislation or scheme or in any other way to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not denied to any citizen by reason of economic or other disability. Article 39, Class A. 7. The state to make provision for securing just and humane conditions of work and for maternity relief. Article 42. 8. The state to promote with special care the educational and economic interests of the weaker sections of the people and to protect them from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. Article 46. 9. The state to raise the level of nutrition and the standard of living of its people. Article 47. To promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India and to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. Article 15, Class A, Subclass E. 11. Not less than 1/3, including the number of seats reserved for women belonging to the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, of the total number of the seats to be filled by direct election in every panchayat to be reserved for women and such seats to be allotted by rotation to different constituencies in a panchayat. Article 243D, Class 3. 12. Not less than 1/3 of the total number of offices of the chairpersons in the panchayats at each level to be reserved for women. Article 243D, Class 4. 13. Not less than 1/3, including the number of seats reserved for women belonging to the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes, of the total number of seats to be filled by direct election in every municipality to be reserved for women and such seats to be allotted by rotation to different constituencies in a municipality. Article 243T3. And 14. Reservation of offices of chairpersons in municipalities for the scheduled castes, the scheduled tribes and women in such manner as the legislature of a state may by law provide. Article 243T4. Legal provisions. To uphold the constitutional mandate, the state has enacted various legislative measures intending to ensure equal rights, to counter social discrimination and various forms of violence and atrocities, and to provide sports services especially to working women. Although women may be victims of any of the crimes such as murder, robbery, cheating, etc., the crimes which are directed specifically against women are characterized as crime against women. These are broadly classified under two categories. The crimes identified under the Indian Penal Code, in short we call it as IPC. Rape under section 376, kidnapping and abduction for different purposes, section 363 to 373, homicide for dowry, dowry deaths or their attempts, section 302, 304, B of the IPC, torture, both mental and physical, section 498A, molestation, section 354, sexual harassment, section 509, importation of girls up to 21 years of age. The crimes identified under the special laws. Although all laws are not gender specific, the provisions of law affecting women significantly have been reviewed periodically and amendments carried out to keep pace with the emerging requirements. Some acts which have special provisions to safeguard women and their interests are the Employees State Insurance Act 1948, the Plantation Labor Act 1951, the Family Courts Act 1984, the Special Marriage Act 1954, the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, the Hindu Succession Act 1956 with amendment in 2005, Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956, the Maternity Benefit Act 1961, amended in 1995, the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971, the Contract Labor Regulation and Abolition Act 1976, the Equal Remuneration Act 1976, the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006, the Criminal Law Amendment Act 1983 and 2013, the Factories Amendment Act 1986, the Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act 1986, Commission of Sati Prevention Act 1987, the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. Special initiatives for women. National Commission for Women. In January 1992, the government set up the statutory body with a specific mandate to study and monitor all matters relating to the constitutional and legal safeguards provided for women, review the existing legislation to suggest amendments wherever necessary, etc. Then there is a reservation for women in local self-government. The 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, passed in 1992 by Parliament, ensured 1/3 of the total seats for women in all elected offices in local bodies, whether in rural areas or urban areas. The National Plan of Action for the Girl Child from 1991 to 2000. The Plan of Action is to ensure survival, protection, and development of the girl child with the ultimate objective of building up a better future for the girl child. Then there is a National Policy for the Empowerment of Women, 2001. The Department of Women and Child Development in the Ministry of Human Resource Development has prepared a national policy for the empowerment of women in the year 2001. The goal of this policy is to bring about the advancement. Gender relation in most contexts, women and men, girls and boys play different roles at a household, community, and societal level. To perform their roles, they need different resources: natural, economic, political, social. Often, however, women or men cannot play the roles they want and or access the resources they need because of their gender. Women in particular face difficulties assessing and controlling resources, and their social and economic contributions are often undervalued. To identify gender relations is to look at the attribution and organization of roles, responsibilities, resources, and values attached to women in men in order to assess the differences and inequalities between them and to map note their specific interests, opportunities, constraints, and needs in development. What are the key characteristics of gender relations? Number one, unlike biological characteristics of women and men, gender relations are context specific. Number two, they vary between and within countries. For example, rural or urban regions, but also between households. Three, often households present different patterns of male-female relations depending on their structure. For example, if they are women-headed, nuclear, or extended. Number four, because women and men interact in all aspects of life, gender relations are omnipresent in the private sphere, that is, household level, as well as the public sphere, where women and men interact as community members or colleagues. Gender relations are not static. Even in traditional cultures, gender relations change as a result of economic, legal, political, or environmental conditions. Some changes are intentional and positive in terms of gender equality. For instance, many countries have taken steps in laws to eradicate gender discrimination. Without their traditional role and status as household heads and breadwinners, an increasing number of men resort to domestic violence to express their malice and reclaim their masculinity. But changes can also be positive. Their recruitment has nothing to do with women's empowerment as all to do with economic viability. Changes in gender relations can be slow or sudden. Gender identity. Gender identity is one's innermost concept of self as male or female or both or neither, how individuals perceive themselves and what they call themselves. Individuals are conscious of theirs between the ages 18 months and 3 years. Most people develop a gender identity that matches their biological sex. For some, however, their gender identity is different from their biological or assigned sex, and some of these individuals choose to socially, hormonally, and surgically change their sex to more fully match their gender identity. Commonly, it is said that gender is a person's self-identification with being a man or a woman. We get to choose our gender role, but this, of course, is not true. For the most part, we are socially conditioned from a very early age to understand sex and gender and how they relate to each other. Neither sex nor gender refers to orientation or choice. There are, however, a number of people for whom these associations don't feel right. This feeling may arise in childhood, adolescence, or adulthood and is referred to as gender identity disorder and manifests as strong and persistent cross-gender identification and a persistent discomfort with their biological sex or a sense of inappropriateness in the gender role of that sex. In the end, it can be said that a gender-equal society is a society in which both men and women as equal members have the opportunity to participate in all kinds of social activities at will, equally enjoy political, economical, and cultural benefits and share responsibilities. It means that there is no discrimination on grounds of a person's sex in the allocation of resources or benefits or in the access of the services. So students, let us now summarize what we have learned in this module. Sex is a biological term and gender is a psychological and cultural term. Gender roles are defined by the socio-cultural norms of any society. Gender discrimination refers to the practice of granting or denying rights or privileges to a person based on their gender. Gender equality means that women and men enjoy the same status within a society. It doesn't mean that men and women are the same, but rather these similarities and differences are recognized. To prevent gender discrimination or sexual harassment from occurring in the workplace, more and more employers are adopting a zero tolerance policy towards all acts of discrimination. There are a number of provisions made for promoting gender equality. Unlike biological characteristics of women and men, gender relations are context specific. They vary between and within countries. For example, rural, urban regions, but also between households. Thank you.